Hi, Mary from Reviewer's Diary, and I just did this for the first time on camera. If you want to watch how I put it on, how I looked once again barefaced, this has like covered up a lot of problems that I have here and made my skin super smooth, so watch me and see how I did it. So stay tuned. Okay, so here I am again without any makeup on. I'm going to be trying this set. Now I do have like super small containers. This set was very cheap, so I didn't expect huge, but they're actually smaller than I thought they would be. I'm going to put on the Primetime Primer and let it soak in a little bit while I get everything else out. Okay, it feels exactly the same as, yeah, it has the exact same feel as my Smashbox has. And that's the Smashbox HD. But it feels exactly the same. Same silicone-like feel. I'm going to use my NYX HD. This is very inexpensive. You can buy it at Ulta. I'm not sure if they carry it at Sephora or not. I doubt it, because Ulta's the one that carries like drugstore and luxury, and I think Sephora only carries luxury brands. So I did use that. I'm actually going to use my foundation brush to just kind of give this a little swirl so it's not too heavy looking. I'm not going to use this mineral veil because I'm going to give this one to my daughter. She's on her way over. I'm going to use my own big one that I bought. And it's exactly the same product, but of course there's a big difference in size. So I'm going to hold on to this one, use this one, and I'll give my daughter the tiny size that came with this set. Now, I watched a YouTuber that I really respect do this, and she didn't tap stuff off, which is a concept that I'm kind of like might be for. What she did is she swirled the brush like this, and then she took what was on here and went a little bit and then rubbed it in. I'll try that on. I just tapped it off. I'm going to do the version that they tell you to do on the right side of my face, and I'll do her version on the left. And of course I might end up washing this all off if it starts to itch. And it does seem to take quite a while to fill the brush up, I guess because it's brand new. It's not absorbing very much product right away. Whoops, that time it did. Well, I can tell you I like the finish. You can see that I did my cheek a little bit under the eye. Could have been better, but a little under the eye, and it does have like a nice luminous finish to it. I'm going to try doing my other side without tapping the brush off. It has about that much product, so let's see what happens. That came out pretty nice, I think. I have a little mirror on the side here, and let's see how it does covering up my forehead. I think I'm going to not tap it off to do the forehead area. I have to say right now, I don't really like this brush. It's very rough. Unlike some of my other brushes, like these are super dense brushes, but they don't hurt your skin. This is kind of like making my skin feel sore. Wow, I really like the coverage. So you can see I did not tap the brush off, and you can see the nice coverage I got on my forehead and on my cheek. I don't know how this is a 30-day supply in this box. It does not seem like it will be. I'm going to do the rest of my forehead without tapping off. Okay. And you know what? I don't think there's really much of a difference. I don't see, it looks like this side that I tapped off, this side, is slightly less coverage. This side looks like it's slightly more coverage, and so I think, you know, it also needs to be buffed a little bit more because these minerals do create a luminous look to your skin. That's what all the literature says and what quite a few YouTubers said. I'll tell you, anytime I need to know how to do something, I always go on YouTube to find out how to do stuff. I'm very much liking this. I'm going to tap this off because I'm going to use a little bit around my eye area just to give it a little boost. And now I'm just going to buff it all in. Just cover this up. I think I have enough on my face now. So I'll cover this. This is in the color Fairly Light. Now I think I need, it only came in dark and Fairly Light, this little kit. I think I need a slightly darker color for my skin tone. But I don't think that, you know, it just wasn't an option. So I didn't want to buy a full size, put out that money, only to find out I don't like it. Now this, honestly, I'm wondering if the reason I had itching problems before was because of the brush. So I would recommend right off the bat that if you're going to use this makeup, that you need to sub in very dense but slightly softer brush. And the next thing they tell you to do is to do the concealer. And there is a little concealer brush that came with this set too. Okay, I put this much in the cap. Okay, now they don't really say a lot about tapping when you get the concealer powder, but I'm going to just because I know heavy powder on the eyes can be a disaster. So let's see what we got here. I'm not going to put it around my entire eye area because I know it will look dreadful if I do. And I think this looks awful. What it's doing is it's accentuating the wrinkles around my eyes a lot. It has made my eye area look pretty red. And I'm not really happy with that. So I'm giving this to my daughter too because I don't like it. Alright, so let's just go in with a little bit of light. This is from Neutrogena, and I bought it way before I went cruelty free. So I'm just going with a little bit of light. And hopefully I can counteract that. And now I'm going to finish with the finishing veil. Honestly, not feeling itchy, so I'm thinking this might be successful. These large sizes, one of the things I like about them is you can dial them closed so that they're not leaking powder all over your drawer. Okay, and I ended up with quite a bit in here, so I'm going to be doing a lot of rub, 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 tap, tap, tap. I did tap that off, but it's still floating through the air. It doesn't feel itchy. I'm using this from L'Oreal because it's in a Use It Up. Those of you who watch me regularly know I don't buy anything that's not cruelty free anymore at all. And I've gotten pretty low. I'm going to use the palest bronzer that e.l.f. has. I'll use my bronzing brush, but the one that I used in Florida, like a lot. I just kind of shoved it in my bag at last minute, and I just thought, oh, okay, well, you know, I guess we'll give that a try. And I hadn't really tried it, and I realized after the fact that this is actually a fabulous brush for bronzer. So because it's by the way, it's from, this one I believe is from a crown brush set that I got a long time ago. I also have brushes from BH, and honestly love the BH brushes. So now I've got my bronzer and blush on. One thing I do have to say is this makeup cooperates very well with other makeups. I'm going to use my favorite eyelid primer, and that is this really nice one from MicaBeauty. I like it because I have pink eyelids, and it just totally eradicates that. I also feel like I can wear any makeup with this because everything sticks to it. So I don't think that, like, if I had endless buckets of dough, I probably would buy this eyelid primer, because it is to the point where this is the best one I've ever used. Alright, I'm going to use this Elizabeth Arden set just because I need to get done with it. I do love it. It's one of the reasons that I am using it up, is because I really do love it. I really, really wish that it was cruelty free. I do need a lighter color though to do those areas of my face where I need a little bit of extra coverage and lightness. So I'll use this white color. This is from this palette by L'Oreal. Again, apologies people, I am using my stuff up. Okay, so that's just to get into the corner there to give a little bit of light, and put this up here, a little bit of slightly darker whitish color. So I used, this is the La Palette Nude #1. I used this white color in the corner and this slightly pinky light color over that to soften it a little bit. Okay, now I will put on my Elizabeth Arden Happiness. I love Elizabeth Arden. I've been an Elizabeth Arden customer for probably about 20 years. I've always loved Elizabeth Arden, but unfortunately, they're not cruelty free. And to boot, I think they also sell in China, so Elizabeth Arden, you will be no more for me. So this is actually in one of my use it ups, and I do love it. If you watch my weekly makeup basket, I think I go over it a little more thoroughly, maybe. I don't remember whether I do or not. Get a little wrinkle there, and sometimes it messes up my brush work. Okay, so it's not perfect, but what are you gonna do? Alright, so next thing, I've been trying to get this Eyeko eyeliner done. I will have to go in close for this. It's a little harsh and it's not the perfect line. It's one thing I like about pencils. I like liquids just because they give you more precise color, but the problem is that they can be a little bit harsher than you may want them to be, which brings me to my favorite interim product, which is eye gel, eyeliner gel, which is much smoother lines you get. Now I'm going to use this Elizabeth Arden pencil underneath. Again, this is another item I'm trying to use up. I'll use my favorite mascara, which is the Perversion mascara. The Laura Geller one is a close second, but I don't know if this, I just love this stuff. For some reason, it's perfect. Now, I know everybody's got their favorite mascara. I think a lot of people use different techniques to put it on, and that might be it. Some people curl their lashes, some don't. I don't curl my lashes because I'm too afraid that they're gonna actually like break off, and they kind of stay up anyway. The technique that I use is I usually also put a little on the top of my lashes, and I don't know for sure, but I think that might be one of the things that helps my lashes stay up, you know, standing at attention, without having to use an eyelash curler. I'll put on one of my old favorite Max Factor lipsticks. Max Factor left the United States because we weren't profitable enough, and they also just started to sell in China, and so sadly, even though they are cruelty-free in the UK, they are not cruelty-free anymore because they do sell in China. But I have this color and I don't want it to go to waste. When my kids were little, I used to, one of my great things was, let's go to the drugstore, and I'd buy a lipstick and buy them each something, so I love this. I absolutely love this lipstick. Okay, so there it is, the finished look using this starter set. I was not happy. Let's see, let me just go real quickly over these things. I didn't do my eyebrows, no wonder. We'll just put a little quick eyebrow gel situation on. This is another product I'm trying to use up and get rid of. I like it, but I don't want to buy any more colored tinted eye gels until I use this up. Alright, that's a little bit better. Alright, so that's the finished look now. Using this Up Close and Beautiful set from Bare Minerals. I have to say, it feels really super comfortable on, so whatever it is that they used to have in the product that was causing itching, I'm not having that problem. Of course, it could also be because I used a primer. A lot of times primer and helping you to get your makeup to stick better also protects your skin from the things that you're putting on. So I like this. Feels exactly the same as my Smashbox, which I love. And I have a big giant Smashbox, so that's another thing I'll give my daughter. I have a small one that came in a set. You'll see the unboxing of the shopping trip that had this in it before you see this video. So, a couple things I liked, a couple things I didn't like. Like the primer, but I have a replacement I can use. Skin feels comfortable, doesn't feel all sweaty and funny and clammy. Some people who have oilier skin, I'm not sure. You'll have to actually comment down below if you have oily skin and you've used this to let other people who may have oilier skin know what it feels like. I did use this, it's this, the Fairly Light foundation base, and I did try to use this, but it just accentuated my lines, so I'm going to give this to my daughter. I already own a finishing veil, so I'm going to give this to my daughter as well. She'll really enjoy that. I don't really like this brush. This brush is very rough, like uncomfortably rough. So I don't think I'll be using this with this foundation routine again. I think what I'll do is I'll use one of my very densely packed but softer brushes to really buff the makeup in. So this was pretty nice. I have to admit this is a very nice dense concealer brush, and I'll probably use this with liquid concealer. So I put that in my little jar. And so what that, and I did the rest of my face, and so what that left me with from this box, with, as far as products that I am not giving away, is these. But I got this on sale. I don't feel bad because the other stuff's going to my daughter. Makes me happy because I already have the finishing veil. I do really like the way this feels now. It's only a matter of time how it wears and whether it still looks good a couple hours from now. It's a matter of practice, and leaving some stuff on the brush without tapping it off seemed to work really well as far as coverage goes, and my skin feels super soft. So I'm very happy with this routine. I also have the Tarte Powder Foundation. I bought that before I went away on my trip to Florida. That was one splurge I made before I went on my no-buy, and I said in my no-buy that, you know, I had already ordered the stuff. So maybe I'll make that my next foundation routine. So I hope you enjoyed this. It's been an education. We just learned together because I've never used this other than like 10 years ago I used it and it was itchy. Now it's not. It's very comfortable. So thank you for watching. This has been Mary with Reviewer's Diary with another foundation application and first impression. Thanks and have a beautiful evening. Good night.